Hello and welcome to Homeschool Together. We are trekking the globe, traveling the world, homeschool journeys all over the place.
Globe hopping.
Globe hopping.
I don't know. We're testing out names. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, we're workshopping it here. All right. Hey, well, we've gone through basically what we are doing for the next 36 weeks or so, and today we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about puzzles, a couple puzzles that we're going to bring in, and then we're going to talk about the spines that we're going to be using throughout the entire curriculum.
Right, because we just talked about what we're going to do in the overview, so I am like steeped in the planning right now to make this next trip around the globe a really fun one. So as I'm pulling all these resources, we thought it would be great to show you the main things that we're going to rely on. Week to week, we'll show you the books that we used for those weeks, but these are the ones that have a through line through the whole study. And then we're going to do a next episode all about games. We were going to do puzzles with that, but the games got a little unwieldy.
We started pulling them out and it got out of control.
It might be a cry for help, but stay tuned for that next week. So for now...
Just count the amount of money you end up seeing. Let's talk about puzzles.
Let's talk a little bit about puzzles.
We've always been a nice puzzle family. We've enjoyed doing puzzles. It's kind of a thing for us.
Yeah, and you can often get them really affordably at Thrift, or really pretty cheap even on Amazon.
And there's so many puzzles that can target the area. We're going to show you a couple, just give you some ideas. Yeah. Maybe the geo puzzles here will be a good one. But really nice, I think, in the first week that we're going to spend some time kind of doing map work. And really it's going to be focused on map work. So one of the best ways to do that is to get a world map puzzle. And this one's a really cool one. I like this one. It's a little canister. It's got a nice print fold-out map.
This one's got all about animals. So we've got a 200 piecer here. We have a 5-year-old and an 8.5-year-old. So we can kind of, this is the sweet spot for everybody.
There it is.
Yep. So this is kind of cool. So if you want to emphasize animals, this would be something like this would be a good one. And I'll try to find one that I can link in the show notes that would be similar as far as featuring animals and a globe. Kind of a nice grounding.
Yeah. Puzzle capabilities. Our youngest can do almost about 100. She's about 5 years old. Almost 100-piece puzzle, maybe with a little bit of help.
Yeah.
Our oldest can probably do 250 if she has the patience and she's listening to an audiobook. But shooting for that 100 to 200-piece puzzle, I think, would be sweet spot for this age range.
I think that puzzles are kind of akin to, the same extension of like looking at pictures in a book and then doing a puzzle makes you kind of it sticks. Same way with listening to something versus writing something. I think that's kind of the same thing. So while our kids work puzzles, they really get a deeper understanding. We've used puzzles to help teach them all about important things in life, like the Jedi and the Sith, and they understand all the Star Wars characters now because we puzzle with them.
And we have lots of Harry Potter puzzles as well. So
it really helps them grasp all of these important Force concepts. So we can speak from experience that puzzles work really well.
So talking a little bit, we have the geo puzzles, and there are many flavors of this, and we have the U.S. and Canada one here, but they also have
this is the world.
Asia and Europe, I believe Africa, Latin America. So they kind of go all around. The pieces are really fun because they're kind of irregularly shaped.
So these are all shaped after the countries, and so the U.S. and Canada,
like clusters of countries.
Yeah, it's gonna be states in that one. These are each about like 70 pieces, so they're really pretty easy as far as low piece count. But this is another one that really helps reinforce geography. We did this one with our youngest when we did our first around the world, and this really helped her kind of get a sense of where things were at. So these geo puzzles, they have them for every continent. So you can pick these up, and I think that these are just ones they'd like to come back to.
We've done these puzzles maybe half a dozen times, and they really hold up well. They're well built, and we haven't had any issues with them.
So yeah, if you're doing this with a true 5-year-old, these work really well. These are ages 4+, and I think
those are great for that age.
They're fun enough that our 8-year-old even likes to do these. So I think, and they will pull these off the shelf to do them at other times. So I think geo puzzles they're really quality.
And then if you have a specific country, maybe you have ancestry in a certain country, or you particularly like a region, feel free to go out and pick up a country puzzle that is specific to that country. This one we got in Ireland when we were in Ireland. We obviously haven't opened the wrapper yet. Terrible. 2 years.
It's because it's 1,000 pieces and our kids aren't quite ready for it. But one of the things that we like to do when we travel is that we always buy a puzzle.
We do.
And so we buy a puzzle to help us remember something about the place that we went. And so I think this is a really fun thing to do if you travel and you want to help kind of reinforce that and pick up a puzzle because
we
it
do.
will take
Magnets and puzzles is kind of our thing.
that's our thing. So
anyway, just giving you ideas to use puzzles as one of those things that
you
are
can find some really cool stuff.
Often not used very much as kind of resources in homeschool. I know we can do puzzles earlier with kind of like the pick and place and shapes, but as part of the learning experience, it kind of drifts away. But I think puzzles is a great opportunity to kind of drive that in. And then we got some really cool, the illustrated map of the world.
So if you're going to invest in a map,
Yep.
you can think about investing in a puzzle map, which can be a kind of fun way. I think this one's like, how many, 200 pieces?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so
little
kind of
bit bigger,
big
maybe
pieces,
almost
but
500
this has
pieces.
got, this has landmarks and animals and all kinds of different things.
You
This
can
is
almost
a really fun
imagine
one.
it being something you can put together, glue it down, and then maybe even frame it.
That would be a really fun thing to do. I
Maybe
love
it's
that
like
idea.
Maybe it's like a fun project, and then just follow it along the way. So
Yeah, I think that could be really cool. So yeah, don't underestimate the power of puzzles, and you can get them pretty cheaply online, or you can thrift for puzzles.
And you can almost imagine like if you're going to do a certain continent, maybe that's the part of the puzzle you do for that week, and then you're slowly putting together your puzzle in the frame. That's kind of a cool idea. That's a cool idea. Yeah, we're brainstorming live here.
I do like it.
Let's talk about spines, Ariel.
Okay.
Countries of the world. This is one of my favorite books from the Around the World journey, mostly because it has every country. And when we were doing the original Around the World, we had the goal of hitting every country, even if it was clusters of countries that we would hit like a region, and we would try to name them all. I read every page of this book to my daughter the first time we went around, and we hops around because I think it's in alphabetical order or close to that, and it's so rich. It gives you just a bit of information. Like here we have Afghanistan, gives you a whole nice page. A lot of kids are showcased in this as well. A lot of famous locations for you to go. Like what are they famous for? What
notable
are
food,
notable things? And this is a great place to kind of kick off into YouTube videos and media and trying to figure out what is interesting. This is I would say this is a must-have. I love this book.
So this is called Our World in Pictures, Countries of the World. It's a DK. And this is our first stop. So when we start a new country, this is what we're planning to do first.
We will read it the first week we do the first country. It'll be the first thing I grab.
Yeah. I like this one because it gives us a little bit of context. It's pretty short. And then we can go over to the map and say, okay, so now that we know just a little bit about this place, now let's start looking at our map books, and we can find where it is in the globe, and we can look at some more things about it. But this is a really good overview. So yeah, I think this is maybe our favorite. Is this one called out in one of the curriculums? No, this is one of our spines, and I think this is maybe our favorite book of all of these, except the next book. Except the next books, we got a couple of them here. We'll do them. DK has a nice run. We've talked about it ad nauseum regarding the importance of showcasing children around the world. Somehow, or children through history, children through whatever, and have it through the children's eyes. We have a couple book selections that we read in the first Around the World journey, which were tailored towards young children. And this is another one. This is Children Just Like Me. And basically you're walking through the world, various countries. They hit multiple countries in every single continent. You're not going to hit every week. It's not going to be every country, but you will hit this, every other week. And it just does a tremendous job at, showcasing the child. What is their life like? What is their school like? What is their home life? What do they like to eat? What is their favorite toys? How do they write their name? And it's very just cool. Really fun, and you make it very personal. And when you're talking to your child and you're reading that spread, you're like, hey, this is Miguel. This is, whoever. And you're talking to them as if it's like a friend, and you see your kids just go, wow, what is Miguel like? I think the connection. There's a connection there. It's amazing. It's true. And so the next two books are part of this series. Another one like this is A School Like Mine, and we have Celebrations Around the World. So this is all from the same series, and even though of course we don't send our kids to a normal school, this is normal. I shouldn't use that word. A traditional public school. This is still really great because it does give a look into their lives and what they, the sports that they play and their friends. So I think it's still a really good book. And then the Celebrations is going to talk specifically about those festivals and events in certain countries. So this would be more country specific, but it is again through the eyes of a child, and that's one of the reasons why we love it so much. What's great about it is if you have all three of these,
you're almost going to hit one every week.
Yeah,
you're
it's
bound
true.
to have somebody who's in one of the
You're right.
countries, and it's, you know, the top 25 countries are covered in these 3 books, and so it's really cool. It's a lot of fun. I love reading these. It's fun to like.
They are. That's a good series.
Like to find even just down to the city. Like there was one in there. I think it was a young boy who lives in like Greenland, and we were able to like find his town, and you know, lo and behold, Google Maps has been there, and so we went onto the street view and we were walking down the street where potentially he could be walking to go to school. It was so amazing to just, you know, have a deep dive into these children's lives. It's really great. I love these books.
Right.
Where on Earth Atlas? We have a number of these. Where on Earth?
We have Where on Earth, When on Earth. We have the dinosaur ones.
Yeah.
These are really great because they're enhanced maps.
Yep.
So they give lots of information. They're just super engaging.
More geography focused, and that's something that you will find with this curriculum is that you end up keep coming back to the maps, and understanding the geography. I love the pictures. I love like the little icons of cool, notable people and places. A lot of fun things, and again, more touch-offs for, you know, further learning. If something sparks your child's interest, you can go ahead and do more.
This is one of my favorite books too, just because it's
this series,
yeah, it's so visually stunning, and our kids will just spend time just looking at this.
Exactly.
So yeah, this is definitely one that I really recommend picking up.
Kicking off of the celebrations with the children just like me, we have this what do you celebrate?
I think this was a spine from Torchlight.
Torchlight.
It's pretty good. It doesn't obviously cover every country in the world either. You know,
It's a lot of the big countries.
Right. It's a selection of different celebrations and festivals and things, but it's done really well. So I think that this is a positive one. This is one you can probably pick up from the library if you look up what countries it covers and just pick it up when you need it. I don't know that there's enough here to justify having to buy it, but of course it's easier to have it and not have to wait at the library, but I don't think you have to own it.
Yep. More books to come into. Nat Geo Wild Animals Atlas.
So this is great. We're doing this biome study as we discussed in the overview, and so this can help us understand some of the animals that live in the different biomes. So that's what we're planning to use it for. It's a much more slimmed down atlas, and I realize now that I'm looking at all of our stuff here that we do not have the Smithsonian's Children's Illustrated Atlas here to show everybody, because that is actually our main atlas, the blue one.
Oh yes, the blue one.
The blue atlas.
Ariel, ready? Look at the camera. Ready? Go. Both hands. Go.
Yeah.
Wow! Through the magic. Harry Potter, you know. What's the one where you grab something? Asio? Anyway,
this is actually the main atlas. So the other atlas, the Nat Geo Wild Animal Atlas, we're using for biomes and animals, but this one has a little bit of animals, but also lots of landmarks and different things for the different countries. And this
breaks it up by country. What I love about this is it actually goes through, I believe, almost every country.
Right, and so it's got these big blow-up pages here, so you can really see a lot of the information about the geography, and then
it's geared more towards the younger kids with the little cartoons and animations and pictures.
It has like a little key for different resources that are in those countries, and it's got some cool things highlighted, sites to see and stuff. So yeah, this is a really good quality. So this is our main atlas that we use. We kind of use the Where on Earth to supplement, but this is kind of the one that's the heavy lift. You can see it's starting to fray because this is the one that gets the heavy lifting. So
between the three of them, I don't do it on the one day. I kind of loop back, and so one will be one day, the next will be the next day, next will be the next day. So just keep constantly reinforcing all of that. We have a bunch of these. We call them the yellow books because they're obviously yellow and they sit on the shelf. These are the Nat Geo kids books.
Yeah, the little kids
first
big book of
something
blank, and this is the first big book of the world. And so there's some just really cool spreads in here about different world topics.
Very simple, talking about regions and just, you know, the different cultures and the different things that are in there, the land, the sights to see, and things of that nature.
Of all of the books, this is the one that's the most geared towards a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
So I think the other books definitely are a bit above that, and you're going to be kind of making things work down for that lower level. This is right in that 5-6-year-old wheelhouse.
Yep.
And
you'll read a page or two here and there.
Obviously, books like this aren't going to be super comprehensive, but what they do cover is at such a great level that I think that they're important to have, and they're usually really affordable to pick up. So that's the reason that we like these National Geographic books.
The next one's two biggies. They don't fit on the shelf very nicely, but they're really nice. So Atlas of Adventure is the first one that we'll talk about here.
Right, and these are, and then we have Atlas of Adventures, Wonders of the World. They're both kind of similar. They have beautiful artwork, and they're going to take you through some area of the world as if you are going on an adventure. This one through the Atlas of Adventures and all the things that you would do on this adventure. Our kids really love these books.
Yeah.
They can be a bit spendy, so try to get these when they're on the buy two get one free sale.
And there's enough stuff that comes up in these that you're going to be pulling it in, every other week or so.
Yeah, our kids. I was a little bit apprehensive
about
about
getting. Not only are they spendy,
getting.
but they're hard to find a spot on the shelf. You have to turn them and go this way. So.
I was a little concerned about buying these ones because they were a bit much, but they're so beautiful and our kids love them.
Our kids just like staring at them for 10, 15 minutes, just pulling them out of the basket and just looking at them. There's a lot of great they have individual learning there.
They have a few different ones of these. I think there's one other one that I'll try to find and post that one as well. We just couldn't get that one, so we have these two. But yeah, Wonders of the World and Atlas of Adventures. They're both really cool, and they highlight one specific area of a country or one specific activity or something that you could do. And I think they do a really nice job of it.
I know what you're thinking. Why did we make an edit, and why are we wearing different clothes? What happened was the first time this video went out, last 2.5 minutes, was dead air for some weird reason. I'll blame it on the interwebs. Ariel, we're in the future. You're in the past. We're Bill. That's Ted. Let's talk about stories from around the world. Now, they would normally be looking at this book.
Right. So Torchlight uses A Year Full of Stories, and Build Your Library uses A Year Full of Animal Stories. We actually don't like either of those books. They're just not our jam. Folktales for us are a real challenge. I don't know. We're not folksy enough, I guess. The problem for us really with folktales is that a lot of times the motivation of the characters don't make a lot of sense. Like the story makes weird jumps and strange things happen, and
sometimes it feels like the stories will make like a right-hand turn and go in a different direction and then come back in another direction. Why do they do that? It gets a little strange.
Right, and our daughter, like us, is just very logical, our older daughter, and so is our younger. So we find that we just have to constantly stop and talk about, like, why did that happen? So we like this book from Usborne, which I think I just got used online, because it's got really good folktales from a bunch of different countries, and it's lacking it's smoothed over some of the... left-hand turns.
Stories are pretty short here, a couple pages, maybe 3 or 4 pages long. So something you can read in a single sitting.
Yep. So we really like this book. So this is our sub to still get some good folk tales, but not the way that those other books do.
And we love to cook, and we're going to be doing a lot of cooking. We're going to do more cooking this time, I think, than we did before. And I thought we did a lot of good cooking along the way. But Cooking Class Global Feast.
Yeah, so this is great. This is the book that's used in Build Your Library. I really, really like this book. We've made most of the recipes in here, and aside from like just a couple of them, whatever there was, the South African cornmeal bread was like not very good, but most everything else has been really excellent in this book. So we're definitely going to cook out of this. I'll also pull some recipes from Pinterest and blogs and things to round it out, because the last time we did this, we had a 3-year-old with us, which made cooking difficult. And now that she's 5 and our older daughter loves to cook too.
Cooking is less difficult.
It's less difficult, although sometimes maybe more, because she's more capable and she makes bigger messes.
Yeah, she wants to use
It's a weighing thing.
Yes. This is a good one. And then,
this is a really good book, though.
And when we do pull in recipes from other books, maybe like our, America's Test Kitchen or something of that nature, we will showcase those books as well, and we'll put those recipes in the show notes whenever we do our weekly videos and everything. But yeah, this is a great book. It was surprising, because normally a lot of cooking books are more miss than hits, and this one turned out to be pretty good.
This is really good. Not only are the recipes good, but the instructions are just very clear. They're all really accessible. So I don't think that there's a reason to go outside and get a different one, unless you're studying a country that this one just doesn't cover, and where you want to expand your meals like we sometimes will because we love food.
Yeah.
So this is all the spines that we plan to use. If we come across something in the middle that we found some fabulous new book that we want to add, we'll of course share it with you at that time.
One of the things we know we're going to bring in a lot of are the eyewitness books. So we'll go ahead and show you guys those as well. But those are not necessarily spines. They're going to be things that come in. But maybe some things we pull, especially with the biomes work that we have.
The biomes work, we're going to be just kind of, coming back to things over and over again. But we'll share with you all of it. But we wanted to give you an idea. If you're looking for, books to buy and you're looking at both of these curriculums or whatever, this is a good example of what we're going to use. We also do have a video, which I don't remember if I said previously in this video or not, so forgive me if I did, but we'll link in the notes the reviews we did on spines and alternate spines when we did combine Build Your Library and Torchlight together. So it has a whole host of other spine books that you can take a look at.
It's a good watch.
Yeah. Because these are the ones that you might want to spend money on because you're going to come back to them so many times, and we want to give you the information about like what's worth purchasing and what's not. And just because we don't love something, a year full of stories, I'm looking at you, doesn't mean it might not be right for your family, but maybe you just want to check it out from the library first and see if it's your jam before you have to drop money on as a book.
Those review videos that we did before are great resources for you to go back, especially if you're looking to do a combo or solo, or you're going to do some eclectic thing, kind of how what we're doing. I think we brought a lot of information on those episodes that will help you make good decisions, because we know buying spines is an expensive proposition. We want to make sure you guys make the right decision. So definitely check out those videos. All those review videos from what we did before I think are really, really good.
Yeah.
So next week we're going to be going into our Yum Box. We're going to be we've been talking about experiences and having experiences, and through food, we're talking about doing a lot of cooking with the cooking classroom. But we're going to be doing these kind of like packaged snack, ethnic food type of things. And we're going to go into a lot of detail about what we're going to do with that next week. So hang in there. Sorry for this weird edit.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed it.
Apologies.
So, hey, listen, they love us. We love them. It's a love. Come on, Ariel. Let's give him a big hug.
You're so silly.
We'll see you guys.
It's really late.
We'll see you guys next week.